Welcome to The Other Goal, stories beyond the scoreboard, where sports meets soul.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at, well, a pretty stunning result, weren't we? Manchester United going away to Athletic Bilbao and winning 3-0 in the Europa League semi-final first leg.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. Not many saw that coming. And we've got a good mix of sources to dig into how it happened. Opta stats, fan views from the United stand, The Guardian, ESPN, Reddit, the works.
Right, so our mission here is to unpack that result, look at the key moments, the tactics, the big performances, and, get a feel for those instant reactions from fans and analysts.
Definitely. Where should we start? That first half blitz was something else.
It really was. But maybe let's kick off with a moment that really shifted the game and got everyone talking, that Donny Vivian red card.
Ah, yes. The VAR incident. Huge moment.
Huge. So Hushland goes through, Vivian brings him down in the box, penalty given, but then VAR steps in.
Right. And the ref goes to the monitor, comes back, red card. Denying a clear goal-scoring opportunity, dog gesso.
And the key thing there, based on the analysis, like from ESPN, was the interpretation of double jeopardy, wasn't it?
Exactly. The thinking is, if you foul someone but make a genuine attempt to play the ball, it's usually just a penalty, maybe a yellow. But here,
the ref decided Vivian hadn't made a genuine attempt to play the ball, just took Hushland out. So penalty and red.
Correct. And you saw the fan reaction, right? On places like the United Stand, Reddit, quite divided.
Yeah, some felt it was really harsh, ruining the contest maybe.
Understandable reaction. But others, especially looking at the letter of the law, were saying, well, technically, it's the right call.
It definitely highlights that ongoing VAR debate, doesn't it? How those rules get applied in the heat of the moment.
Absolutely. And Opta's data would show, going going down to 10 men and conceding a penalty at that point, that just massively swings the odds.
Completely changes the game's complexion. And speaking of the penalty, Bruno Fernandes steps up.
Cool as you like. Whistle's going, hostile crowd, didn't matter. Slided it away.
Which brings us nicely onto him and Casemiro. Their influence felt massive, especially in that first half. Let's talk about Casemiro's opener first.
Yeah, that was a great goal. Really well worked. Maguire, actually, doing well out wide.
Bit unexpected, maybe, but a good cross.
Yeah, gets the cross in Ugarte with a clever little flick on at the near post.
And then Casemiro arrives, perfectly timed run to the back post. Bang, 1-0.
It really set the tone. And you saw fans, especially in the United Stand, talking about Casemiro's performance generally. Like a resurrection, some were calling it.
Yeah. The general in midfield, you could see that leadership, that experience shining through.
Definitely. And Fernandes. Well, after scoring the penalty, he grabs another one later, linking up with Ugarte again, I think.
That's right. Just clinical. And his Europa League stats are, frankly, ridiculous. Opta pointed out he's now joint leading scorer and assister in the competition's history.
Incredible consistency. Which leads to that fan debate you see online, like on Grettles. Is he actually underappreciated sometimes?
It's a fair question, isn't it? Considering the team's struggles elsewhere, his goal contributions are just massive. 37 goal involvements this season, someone mentioned.
Wow. Yeah, you can't argue with those numbers. And he takes responsibility, like with that penalty, captain's performance.
Absolutely. Okay, let's shift focus a bit. Athletic Bilbao. Their home record before this game was formidable. The Guardian mentioned they'd only let in 10 goals all season at San Mamés.
Incredible defensive record.
Yeah.
So the question is, how did United just dismantle that, especially in the first 45 minutes?
There must have been a specific tactical plan. What did the analysis suggest?
Well, Opta's breakdown pointed to United exploiting space, particularly behind Athletic's defense on their right side.
So Athletic like to press high, right? Try and win it back quickly.
Yeah, they can be really aggressive, try to suffocate teams.
Yeah.
But United seemed ready for that. Instead of getting caught playing out, they looked to bypass that initial press.
And hit the space behind.
Exactly. Especially when Athletic's fullbacks push forward. Quick transition seemed key. ESPN noted Athletic's usual midfield intensity wasn't quite there in disrupting United's flow early on.
Maybe the early goals rattled them too, forced them to open up more than they wanted.
Could be. It certainly played in United's hands if they were set up to counter.
It raises that interesting point fans sometimes discuss about MRM's system, the 3-4-3.
Right. Is it always the best fit? Especially against pacey wingers like the Williams brothers. If your wingbacks get caught high,
you can be exposed. It's a risk-reward thing, I suppose. Requires huge discipline.
Definitely. A tactical battle that United, clearly won on the night, especially in that first half.
Let's talk about those fan reactions then. What was the general feeling coming through from the sources like Reddit and the United staff?
Overwhelmingly positive, obviously.
Okay.
Elation, surprise,
Huh.
disbelief even. Dreamland was a phrase I saw crop up a few times.
You can imagine. But was there also a bit of caution?
Oh, absolutely. Beneath the excitement, there was definitely a sense of, okay, great result, but it's only halftime. Lots of don't bottle it at Old Trafford comments,
Standard United fan experience, maybe. Oh.
perhaps. But yeah, the memory of previous European slip-ups is clearly there. They know it's not done yet.
Were there other players getting specific shout-outs besides Casemiro and Fernandes?
Yeah, definitely. Maguire got a lot of praise for his role in the first goal of that cross. Some fun comments like magnanimous Maguire doing the rounds,
Nice.
and Lindelof, due for a crucial block later in the game. Keeping that clean sheet was massive, and fans recognized those defensive contributions.
That clean sheet away from home in the semifinal first leg,
Yeah.
huge advantage.
It really is. And interestingly, not much immediate reaction quoted from the athletic side in our sources, which isn't too surprising after a result like that.
No, probably just disappointment and needing to regroup. The report suggested they acknowledged being well beaten on the night.
Yeah, pretty comprehensive in the end.
Okay, so let's try and summarize the key takeaways from this deep dive. What really stands out about how United got this 3-0 win?
Well, first, that first half performance was incredibly clinical. 3 shots on target, 3 goals. You can't argue with that efficiency. Second, the red card incident. Controversial maybe, but undoubtedly pivotal in shifting the game's momentum decisively towards United.
Agreed.
Third, the leadership and quality shown by the experienced players Casemiro with a crucial opener and his overall presence, Fernandes with his composure and 2 goals. They really stepped up.
They did, and tactically.
Tactically, it seems United had a smart plan to negate Athletic's press and exploit the space they leave behind, particularly down the flanks. They executed it really well, especially before the red card.
And finally, the fan reaction, that mix of sheer joy, maybe a bit of shock, but also that underlying nervousness about finishing the job.
Exactly. Captures the roller coaster of supporting a team like United, I suppose.
It certainly does. It was a result that flew in the face of expectations, really, given Athletic's home strength.
Yeah, it just shows you in knockout football, anything can happen. Form, home advantage, sometimes it goes out the window.
So here's something to chew on then. Thinking about that second leg, what's the psychological impact of this result for both teams?
Good question. Can Athletic realistically come back from 3-0 down at Old Trafford? It seems a monumental task.
You'd think so. Does this result basically cement United as favorites now, not just for the tie, but maybe for the whole competition?
It certainly strengthens their case. And maybe it tells us something about this United team's ability to perform when the pressure is really on in Europe, even if their league form is inconsistent.
Right. What could that mean for their confidence going forward, maybe even into next season if they manage to win this? Lots to think about after such a commanding first leg win.
You've been listening to The Other Goal, because the greatest victories don't always happen on the field.